Last week, the California Judicial Council passed an emergency bail schedule that they imposed on every local county, including our county, San Bernardino. Essentially what it does is it requires zero bail for inmates in custody to be released, unless they fall within 13 particular exceptions. As a result of many of the laws that have been passed over the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a significant decrease in the number of people who we can actually keep in custody at any given time on particular cases. That has been a concern. That still is in play. What that means is that people who remain in custody these days are typically some of the worst of the worst. This new Judicial Council order lessens that even more by not taking into account certain crimes that certainly have an impact on public safety, like elder and child abuse, and like people who have prior serious or violent convictions. As of today, we have been fortunate in this county because of Sheriff McMahon and his staff's efforts to keep the health and safety of the inmates a priority. There's only one case of COVID in the jails. There may be more, and that'll be unfortunate. If there is a significant problem, then we would address that as is required. But there is no significant problem currently in this county, and we don't believe that we have to change our way of doing business and protecting the public when there's no justification for having an order like the Judicial Council passed last week. The irony is that so oftentimes many people who are in custody actually have better access to health care in the jail than they do on the outside, and that's a result of the taxpayers in this county already paying for those services that are required to be in a custody setting. Let me give you an example of how much this new rule can harm public safety here in the local community. Just last week there was somebody in court who was charged with human trafficking. What I mean by that is that person had a felony offense for selling someone else for sex in order to make money. In addition, the person had a prior strike which we alleged, and that prior strike was armed robbery. But because that person's crimes were not on the accepted list of the bail schedule, that person was released. I don't believe the judge was happy or comfortable about having to do it, but because the Judicial Council imposed this emergency bail order on the counties, the judge had no choice. We objected, we vehemently objected, and yet that person was released. There's something wrong with the Judicial Council order that allows a person like that to be released back into our community. We have very hardworking people in the county of San Bernardino. We have a vibrant community, we have a vibrant environment here, and we have so much variety, not only with the people that we live around and we work around and we play around, but just the variety of the geography in San Bernardino County makes it a wonderful place to live. This virus has come into our community and found us all exactly where we were. We didn't know a month ago what impact this would have on us. It's had a significant impact on the people in this community, particularly small business owners who have made a choice to start a business, to foster a business, to support themselves, to support their families, and more importantly, to employ others and to provide health benefits to those other people. They've made those conscious choices to do good, and yet they find themselves in a very, very difficult predicament because they're losing their livelihood and oftentimes they're losing their health benefits. People who are in custody, they made a choice at the same time to commit crimes against other people, and there's a price to be paid for that also. And perhaps that price ought to be is that the virus finds you where you were when it came into our community, which was in custody. And that's why I have a hard time of saying we need to let people out of custody when the virus comes in, because we don't have the same kind of relief for law-abiding people who have chosen to work hard and to provide a livelihood for other people. We hope that no one gets sick, and that includes inmates, but we also don't think that inmates ought to get even greater or more special consideration than the hardworking people of this county get. The purpose of this video is to ensure the residents of the county of San Bernardino that the Sheriff's Department and all the other law enforcement agencies in this county and your district attorney's office are keeping your public safety as a priority in the midst of this pandemic under COVID-19. We are doing everything we can to ensure that despite some of these orders that are coming down from the Judicial Council, that we will object when people get released. We will want to have hearings when people get released, and we want to ensure that inmates who don't deserve to get released don't get released and create a public safety problem in our county. And we will do everything that we can to keep that as the #1 priority in San Bernardino County.